Okay, my next senior award goes to Elisabeth Farrel. And next year, Elizabeth's going to go to the University of Missouri St. Louis and major in education. And you've had a number of scholarships. You've had the Chancellor's Scholarship for $5,000, the UMSL Bound Dual Credit Scholarship for $2,000, an Honors College Scholarship for $2,250, the Rotary Club Student of the Year Scholarship for $1,000, and the Access Missouri Award for $250. So congratulations, that's good, Elisabeth. Good work. Going on to the next portion, which is where you list your memories for me, and I laugh at this. I'm going to go through all of them, but this cracks me up because in my notes I just asked for your top 5, but knowing how you are, and you know what I always say about you, I always say that you're really intense, and you gave me 7, so that cracks me up. So priceless. Your first memory is life lessons from me and Mr. Kramer, and I know some of the kids have written this in there as one of their memories, and I think I know sometimes some of my little talks, my little fireside chats tend to go for maybe longer than it should, but sometimes I'm just really compelled to tell you all things, and to a point where it like just becomes this complete obsession, and maybe I feel like I'm doing a little bit of good. So I know we're making music together. That's the avenue that brings us together. That's the medium that brings us together. But maybe at the end of the day, if there's something else that you can get out of it that will be everlasting, and maybe that's what I'm compelled to do. So the other thing you mentioned here, and I kind of remember doing this, so this is kind of fun, is rehearsing the stamp. And I turned the lights out to force you all to listen to each other. And you'd mentioned that playing that music, forcing you all to listen to each other, was such a prominent and special moment that sticks with you. And it's amazing that you mentioned that, because one of the things that I think we don't do very well as people and as humans is we don't really listen to each other, and we don't really listen to our surroundings. When you think about it, we're surrounded by so much ambient noise, so much this, so much that sometimes we don't really just sit and listen. And I think in that particular moment there were so many things going on, so much clutter, and not that the music was bad or anything like that, but the way we were playing it was making it clutter. That it was just kind of one of those moments that I need you all to just sit and just listen and decipher what's going on, and then based on you all internalizing that, you would fix the problems, because the problems that we're having, as a control freak, it's difficult doing band because you want to fix everything that's wrong, and sometimes forcing you all and putting you all in that situation to fix the things that are malfunctioning is sometimes the best teaching in the world. And man, I wish I had seen this, and seriously, girlfriend, this would have been really funny, and I would have given you a lot of trouble. But you had mentioned walking in on a man on a porta potty at a contest and being very embarrassed. Now that cracks me up. One, that we all have to use porta potties, and they're actually, I'm excited to see a porta potty, and then I start to rate the quality of the porta potties. That's another sick, demented thing. But then actually to see you, of all people, being the intense person that you are, getting embarrassed because you walked in on somebody in a porta, and it's the guy's fault. I mean, should have locked it, or maybe I don't know what happened, but I would have loved to seen that, and this is the first I heard of this. So yeah, this is funny stuff. So The next thing, which is the breakfasts that you're with your section that you do before the contests, and often sometimes you guys would kind of invite me to those things, but sometimes you guys are meeting pretty early in the morning, and I would like in a couple extra hours of sleep, especially knowing on the day of a contest it's going to be a 14-hour day. So, and this one's cute. It's one of your favorite memories was me getting mad at you at Disney, and it wasn't I was mad at you. When you're pushing and you're thriving and you're doing things and you're this and that and something just kind of doesn't go the way you want to, you just kind of snap at it. Now, the one thing I'm going to tell you about yourself, which you may know this or not, but maybe you don't, but you are the longest grudge holder, I think, of probably in the band. And, my little snap at you, which was not that big of a deal, you held that grudge for weeks. And I think even into that next year, in the fall, you remember that time you got mad at me, Brown? I'm sorry. It was not that. It was just a reaction. So that being one of your favorite memories, that you listed this as one of your favorite memories, but I guess it's favorite. I think maybe what it does show, that I'm human too. And sometimes I get wrapped up in the moment of things, and sometimes I can be intense as well, just like you. And so, but it is sweet. It is cute that you remember that. And I do remember later that fall when you told me that this bothered you. I do remember apologizing to you, that I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings at that moment. I wasn't trying to, and so. The other thing, which a lot of the kids have kind of talked about this, was the New York trip. And, that was a special trip. And I'm not going to lie, on that trip, I was walking on eggshells just the entire time. And it was amazing for you all. But, to unleash a group of high school kids on a city like New York, and even under the best circumstances. I mean, we had tons of chaperones with you guys. We tried to take every precaution we could, but there's always something that could happen and something that could go wrong. So, but knowing how you all are, how disciplined you all are, I couldn't think of taking a better group of kids really anywhere. And taking you all to New York, and the fact that you liked it, and that was something that was positive for you, that makes me happy. And then also you write on here, and Mr. Kramer would love this, hanging out with Gavin and Quinn. One of the things that I really like about our circumstances and what we do here in band is that we can have our families there. You all are part of our family. We're not hiding anything from you all. You all see us, and you see us who we are, our flaws, our good points, and our kids. So, the fact that Mr. Kramer can bring his kiddos and you guys embrace them, that makes it even more beautiful. Okay, so the next part where I want to get to, where I talk about my thoughts of you. And over these last 4 years, I've seriously enjoyed you. You've always been one of those people that I can look out in the band, and you may not know you do this, but you're like always smiling. And I can make eye contact with you directly, indirectly, and you always have like this intense expression on your face. And not only to boot, but you're also a really fine player. And you always underrate yourself as a player, which becomes our kind of cycle where you're like, oh, I'm not really that good, and I yell at you, like I did in Disney. Yes, you are good. Now stop. Come on. You playing at state multiple times, playing solos, part in ensembles, and it's just amazing. I do love and your intense nature. And you're saying, well, how am I intense? And I'm going to give you an example. This is my best Farrel example that I can. Hey, Brown, What's wrong, Brown? That's my best. That's the best that I've got. So, if you don't think that's true, show this to your parents. I think they will agree with me. You are intense, but it's that intensity what has made you into the good player that you are. That intensity is also in become and help shape and mold your personality and help shape and mold the excellence that you strive. So even though I know you were like, oh, I'm not doing well at this solo or that solo, you actually really were. And every time you played, I was just so proud of you and just so happy, that I could be on one part of this little voyage for you. And it's just a lot of fun. I am going to miss many things about you. One of the things I'm going to miss about you is just kind of that little interaction that we have. You always manage to come down, you come in down, sit down in the office, and then we always manage to find a way of teasing you, and you always like to tease back, and, that just becomes kind of a little natural, normal experience for us. I will miss those moments. And, a lot of times you end up saying crazy things. You say crazy things. We say crazy things back. You coming to bingo, running at bingo, and, we're always kind of crazy at bingo. And then my wife's there, and that adds a whole nother level of crazy. And then, you giving us Smoothie King recommendations because you are a Smoothie King expert. But most importantly, I'm going to miss your leadership. I'm going to miss your leadership amongst the section. I'm going to miss your leadership amongst the kids, amongst the band. I'm going to miss the camaraderie. I'm going to miss your musical leadership. People look up to you. People admire you. One of my daughters loved this little blurb that you did about the Hannah Montana. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. You're watching the Disney Channel, the little thing that you did, and my wife videotaped it, and Eva loved it. So she knew who you were actually probably before she knew a lot of the kids' names in band. She goes, oh yeah, the little Hannah Montana girl. So you just have this way with people that they know you, they recognize you, and when you come in, you can dominate the room. And having that kind of power over people, having that kind of influence over people, goes beyond your musical skills. And, your musical skills are great, but having that kind of impact on people goes even further. So I know through this, talk and talk about you, I talked a lot about your personality, about you, and not trying to dismiss your musicality, because it is fine. And, you're getting a musicality award, and you're receiving the Semper Fidelis award. Now, what that award is, it's one of the older band awards that are out there. And that is usually given to the person who has the most soloistic character and nature in the band. And the amount of solos that you've done, the amount of pressure you've been under in that environment, and always come through. And that, follows the Marine motto, always faithful, always loyal. And I definitely think that suits you and fits you. So receiving the Semper Fidelis Award. Thank you.